Child was sitting at home and he gets a phone call in the house, and the caller says, "May I speak to your parents, please?" And the child says, "My parents are not available." So the caller says, "Okay, is anyone else in the house?" The child says, "Yeah, actually, the police department are here." So the caller says, "Okay, may I speak to them, please?" The child says, "They're not available either." So the caller says, "Okay, is there anyone else there?" The child says, "The fire department is here." So the caller says, "May I speak to them, please?" And the child says, "Well, they're not either available." So the caller is really exasperated. He says, "You're telling me that your parents, the police department, the fire department, they're all in the house, and no one's available. What are they all so busy with?" And the child says, "Well, they're looking for me." Children. Children are really impossible. But I'd like to present to you possibly an approach that will guide and help you understand children a little better and contribute to success in raising children. Before that, let's examine what causes one child to be happy, fulfilled, to be a well-adjusted, wholesome child, while on the other hand, another child could suffer from dysfunction, depression, and Rahman al-Islam, chas v'shalom, fall victim to substance abuse and all the terrible vices and really go off the beaten path, off the derech. What is it all about? And really, there are many determinants. There's not just one. There are many determinants that could contribute to the outcome of a child's either success or failure. There are many determinants. One determinant is school. If a child is being bullied in school, if a child's frightened to go to school, if a child goes to a class and the child is a higher achiever and he's not being stimulated in the class, or he's not having extracurricular activities or enrichment, he feels stifled, that could really be something terrible. If the teacher is a condescending teacher that berates a child, that demeans a child, that's a horrible, horrible thing for a child. It could really cause a child to eventually go off. Technology. If a child goes ahead and goes online on the internet, one click on the internet could ruin a child or even an adult's, certainly a child's life. In neighborhood and friends, if a child falls into the wrong clique of friends, those friends could bring down the child terribly. And then, of course, there's learning disabilities. Learning disabilities, if a child is frustrated, if a child is humiliated because a child can't learn according to the level of the peers, that's also really, really, really devastating and disastrous and deleterious for the growth of the child. However, all those determinants aside, there's still one single greatest determinant that will really determine the outcome of your child and contribute to the child's success or failure, and that is the two most important people in the child's life. I'm speaking about the child's parents. There's no one more important to the child than the child's parents. The child is a composite, both genetically and psychologically, a composite of the parent. And that's why the Maharal says that Yeled, the Lashon HaKodesh, the Hebrew word for child, Yud Lamed Dal, Yud is 10, Lamed is 30, and Dal is 4. It equals 44, because Yeled is the byproduct. Yeled is the extension of the Av. Av is Aleph Beis is 3. Father, Aim is mother is 41. Aleph and a Mem is 41. 3 and 41 is 44. Yeled is 44 because the child is the product of the surroundings of the parents. The more love, the more consistency, the more stability that the parents provide in the house, the more of a chance that child will be stable, will be consistent, and will be raised to become a healthy, productive adult. But it's dependent on the parents. And the same way a plant needs oxygen, sunlight, and water to grow and to be a healthy, vibrant plant, a child, the principal and primary ingredient in the child's life is love. The child needs love. Love means physical contact. It means hugging and kissing. It's very important for a child to get. It's good for their sensory development, and it's good for their confidence, esteem, to get love. And it's also verbal love, emotional love. To tell your child, I love you. You could say it numerous times today, say, I love you, I care about you, you mean the world to me, there's nothing more precious, nothing more valuable to me. You could tell me anything in this world, I will not judge you. I am your parent that loves you. There's nothing more important than love. As a matter of fact, in Yiddishkeit and Judaism, we believe that love is so crucial that it is love that brings Hashem, that brings God's presence, the God's Shekhinah into our homes. As a matter of fact, the Triska Maggid said, that how do you make Hashem? Through Ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha. And that's why the pasuk actually says, Ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha, ani Hashem. What makes Hashem? What brings God down into your life, into your home? Ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha. When you love one another. How is that? Because when one loves another, it means there are two people loving each other. When a parent loves a child and the child loves the parent, you have ahava and ahava coming together. Ahava, Aleph, Hey, Veis, Hey is 13. Aleph, Hey, Veis, Hey is 13. 13 and 13 is 26. That's a Shem Havaya, Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's a tetragrammaton. That's God's name. Ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha. When there's love, there's God. Says Rav Avram Masadi Gara, if you want to know how God's going to judge you, the Rebbeinu Shalom, how God, the Master of the Universe, will judge you in your life, it's commensurate with how much you love others. But particularly, of course, Kal V'chomer V'kol Shkein, how much you love your children. Because chesed starts at home. Kindness and love starts with your own children. Of course, your spouse and your children. It's important actually that your parents, as parents, it's important that your children see a loving relationship amongst the spouses, that they see you talking to one another, that they see the empathy, they see the compassion, that they see the real love between spouses. Says Rav Avram Sadigar that when you love one another, kamoicha ani Hashem. That is how I'm kamoicha, like you treat others, ani Hashem. That's how I am going to be Hashem in your life. You want to know how I judge you? You want to know why things occur and transpire in your life? It depends on how much love you give. That's how important love is in a relationship. So let's examine a father's role and a mother's role in a child's life. The father is Av, Aleph Beis. That means that the father is the Aleph Beis, the building blocks, the ABC of the child's life. Many people think the father doesn't contribute too much in the growth and development of a child. It couldn't be further from the truth. That's a tremendous misconception and a misnomer. A father is exceedingly pivotal in a child's development. The father contributes, gives the child that stamina, the esteem, the confidence, the structure, the foundation, the fortitude. And the mother's Aleph Mem. Aleph Mem. Aleph is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet of the Aleph Beis. Mem is the middle letter of the Aleph Beis. But visibly and patently missing is the Saf. Because usually Aleph Mem comes together with the Saf because the Saf is the last letter. Aleph represents the past, Mem represents the middle, the present, and Saf represents the future. But the mom, she imbues, she inculcates, she imparts and conveys the love, a preciousness, and a conviction to the child. Giving that child that sense, enveloping that child in the sense of confidence, but this sense of security, of warmth. So the child is bridged from the past, the values from the past, and now to the present. But a mother that coddles, a mother that suffocates, a mother that's overbearing and overwhelming the child is no good, because the mother has to equip the child with the tools, the wings, to be able to fly healthy and happy and not to overwhelm or be overbearing to that child. And that's why the Suf is missing, the future, because the future is the child's. And that's why it says Maharal, a child is called a Yeled. Yeled, the etymology, the shurish of the word Yeled, the root is Dal. Dal meaning dependent. Every child is dependent. A child can't function without the parents. Of course, the diaper changing and the feeding, but the child needs a parent. But it's the objective of the parent, a good, healthy, emotionally sound parent, to take that child and eventually wean that child off the dependency to become a gadol. Gadol means a contraction of gomel dalim, weaning off the dependency, so the child could fly on their own and become a healthy, productive, happy, fulfilled adult. But it's all up to the parents. As a matter of fact, there's empirical research that corroborates this. The Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse from Columbia University shows conclusively that the more love that a child has, the more a child has the parents in the life, family time spent together, the less a child will be prone to substance abuse, means drugs, alcohol, and cigarettes. However, conversely, the less a parent spends with the child, that child has more, great and stronger chance of getting on drugs, alcohol, and cigarette smoking. I want to conclude with an idea. Shnei Rizal in Aliyah, the Shir, the Baal Tanya Shir, the name of Rav Mordechai, you heard it, Mipia Shmuel, directly from the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov said like this. Baal Shem Tov said a soul could descend to this world. A person could come onto planet Earth for 70, 80, maybe even 90 years. All for one objective, for one mission, for one tafka, for one purpose. To just impact one person's life, to do one chesed. How much more so then, that a person could descend to this world to be able to cultivate and to be able to persevere and to be able to take care of one child, to give that child the necessary love that they need, to achieve that parent could achieve the parent's tafkid and tikkun in life. So let's work on this together. Let's really strive to create loving homes where spouses love one another and where the house is a loving home where you bring down the Shekhinah of Ani Hashem, and where that house has the consistency and stability. Because you remember, your child, the Yeled, is the Avanim, is the product of the Avanim. And together, with teamwork, a husband and wife, the two parents, could really enable that child to grow up into a gadol that in turn will be the most amazing and best parent to his or her children. Thank you for listening.